Welcome to a behind-the-scenes look at horse racing. I'm Jonathan Horowitz, the announcer at Arapahoe Park. We're taking you inside the Jockeys room for locker room access to the Sport of Kings. We'll start by introducing you to three jockeys at different stages in their career. In a moment, we'll meet Joe Badilla Jr., one of the most accomplished quarter horse jockeys of all time, as well as Ramiro Garcia, a young up-and-coming jockey who was Arapahoe Park's leading quarter horse rider in his first year of racing in 2014. But first, with me is Justine Klaiber, and Justine just won her first ever race. On June 26th, she won an Arabian race, and then once she started winning, well, she hasn't stopped, because in her very next race on July 2nd, she won her first ever quarter horse race. Justine, thank you for joining me and showing us the Arapahoe Park Jockeys room. To win your first ever race, can you describe what that feeling is like?
It's amazing. I don't think there's any one feeling. There's so many nerves, excitement. You just can't really believe it.
They race towards the final furlong, and now Junia takes over for Justine Klaiber from Miss Paradise, and then Fleur d'Amour in third place inside the final furlong, and Junia with the advantage. Junia starting to inch away, and Junia a first career win in the first Hark race in the United States.
So it's just amazing, and I couldn't do it without the help with everybody, other jockeys, trainers, everyone. I'm thankful, very thankful.
Looking at the first win photo aboard Junia, you looked very serious as you were coming to the finish line. So were you celebrating a little on the inside? Because it looks like you were all business.
I was still a little shell-shocked. I just couldn't believe it happened. I was super surprised. I was like nervous that they were gonna come and get me. I couldn't really believe that I won. You just can't wrap your mind around everything that it just happened. I've actually haven't rode too many races, so I think that it came this quick was a big surprise too. But got a nice horse, and she ran a good race.
So you win your first race, and then you win your second race.
And they're all set to go. Gates open, race 2 is underway. Runaway Traffic with a clean beginning and sprints out to the early lead, being chased by Tsunami Girl, and then comes Fame Warrior, Fiery Royal Cartel on the inside, but they're chasing Runaway Traffic. It's Runaway Traffic with the advantage. First career quarter horse win for jockey Justine Klaiber. Congratulations to her.
It went so quick. I'm really glad. She was a really good horse, and she kind of took me all the way through, and it just went by really fast, though.
The Jockeys Initiation, that's something that is amongst the brotherhood and sisterhood of jockeys. What goes on when you win your first ever race?
Well, I got a nice bucket of ice water, and it kind of initiates you into the family, because all these jockeys, whether they all get along or not, they're a family. And it's just, they kind of just welcomed me into it.
What did it take for you to get to this point? When did you start riding horses, and when did you want to become a jockey?
Well, I've been riding horses my whole life, rodeo horses, and I ponied from the time I was 16 and started galloping. And then about a year ago, I thinking about getting my license, and I just got it at the beginning of this meet, and it's been great.
Where are you from?
Tucson, Arizona, and then I moved to Denver about 4 years ago.
And how old are you?
I'm 20.
So just getting started with a big future in front of you. When you started riding, did you have some goals in mind as what you wanted to accomplish?
I really just wanted to stay in the horse industry. I wasn't really sure where I was going with it, but once I started galloping and everything, I just wanted to keep progressing and see where I could get.
When you've won, the photos that get posted to Arapahoe Park and American Quarter Horse Association social media, they've been very popular. So what's the reaction been from fans to the start of your career?
It's all been really positive. They're all people that have helped me throughout my career, and I think they're just really happy to see where I've gotten.
And we're very happy that at Arapahoe Park is where you've begun your career, and congratulations on your first victories, and we look forward to continuing to follow your successes. Thank you, Justine.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Nighthawk Ranch. Nighthawk Ranch is located in Guffey, Colorado, and and we buy Mustangs from the BLM and we train them for use with these kids that are recovering from cancer. It's like a team from day one with the kid and the horse. And they feel really comfortable, they feel safe on the horse, they feel a part of the horse, they feel part of the program. And it's a bond they don't experience a lot in their lives.
So the kids have their own horse for the week, learn to ride if they haven't ridden before. We spend a lot of time with animals in the morning, and then in the afternoons we have more camping events, archery, ropes course, building a log cabin, camping out overnight, a little bit of everything.
I have a lot of cancer in my family. I'm a cancer survivor, and we believe that Nighthawk Ranch has a lot of natural healing on its own. It was a great healing force in my life, and we believe that sharing that with these kids, that's important. So clean air, clean food, great experience is all positive for these kids for sure in their healing.
The 2016 live horse racing season in Colorado at Arapahoe Park from May 20th to August 14th. Racing takes place on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and special holiday racing on Mondays for Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Post time for the first race each day is at 1 o'clock p.m. For more information, visit myhighracing.com and facebook.com/Arapahoe Racing. Arapahoe Park, where horses come first. Welcome to Arapahoe Park's Jockey Room, and a welcome to Arapahoe Park to jockey Joe Badilla Jr., one of the most decorated quarter horse jockeys of our generation. And Joe, you've ridden at Arapahoe Park before, right? What is your experiences before at Arapahoe?
Yes, off and on. I rode here from when I was riding before I took my 10-year hiatus, and I've always liked it here. Enjoyed the racing a lot, and always felt very welcome.
It's great to have you back, and you start riding in 1990. What's your journey to becoming a jockey and the career that you've had? Really, it's in two parts. You were a jockey, then took some time off, trained, back to being a jockey. But let's start out early in your career. What are some of the memories you have from when you first started, and some of the big races that you won early on in your career?
I was fortunate. I mean, I rode pretty good horses from the beginning, and I started winning races, and I actually made it a habit. You know, I mean, I showed up and expected to win instead of just showing up to ride. And then I got the rush in my head that, hey, this is a fun way of making a living, and I started my career. And I mean, it was a pretty good career when it took off, and I was able to win the All-American Futurity, the Los Al Million, the Champion of Champions, the Texas Classic Futurity. I mean, I won probably the biggest races in the country at one point.
You basically named all the big races in California, New Mexico, and Texas, and now you're back riding after a stint of training. So you've been on it on both sides, riding and training. Compare and contrast the difference between the two, and what would make someone a good rider versus a good trainer, and can you call on what you learned as a rider when you were a trainer?
Yes, when you're riding, it's you get to feel the horse from above the horse. Training, you got to feel the horse from the ground, and you got to be able to, make adjustments with the horse's attitude. As when you're on the horse, you can make the adjustments and give him the feel for the horse, and have the horse picking up the bit, whether it's he's feeling a lot more powerful today or not. And those are some kind of points that I was able to use to my benefit in both areas.
And then to come back to riding after training, what was the journey to riding? How did you make the journey back to becoming a full-time jockey again?
Yeah, long story. To sum it up really quick, it was kind of an accident that I was fighting blood pressure, and my girlfriend, her and I have a child together. Her name's Aria, and she turned me on to these chia seeds, and they did some wonders for me, and I started losing weight. And then I thought, man, if I started exercising, I can start riding again. That's exactly how it happened.
It's quite an endorsement for chia seeds to becoming a good jockey. And how has it been the second time around compared to the first starting riding full-time again in 2014?
So far, I've really enjoyed how the game's changed, and I appreciate for the career I had the first part of my life, and now I appreciate more the chance, the opportunities I get than before. Like I said, I expected them. Now, I enjoy the opportunities people are giving to me, and I haven't hit the big one yet, but it's on its way.
Knocking on the door, definitely. And you've been back with some success to Los Al, in New Mexico, and now riding full-time in Louisiana. Is that correct?
Correct. I'm gonna base myself out of Louisiana for the time being, just to kind of make adjustments in my career so I could perform at the top level in the best races in the country, but I won't be based out of one state instead of flying around just hopping from racetrack to racetrack.
Well, describe the life of a jockey, because you won at Delta Downs. I think the race went off at 10 o'clock p.m. and now you're in Colorado. What is that like to win a race late at night and then have to go the next morning on the road to ride in another state?
No, it's very similar to a baseball player. You hit a home run, and the next day you're at the you're in a different stadium hitting the baseball game. But as far as a jockey's perspective, I mean it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal feeling. I mean, I get to win a race in one state, and I get to perform in a major race in another state. It's just, I mean, there's words aren't to describe it.
I actually got into race riding with a family of mine. They got buddies that would race horses, and they're like, hey, you look kind of skinny. I mean, you should try it out. So I thought, yeah, let's do it. And started galloping, and they asked me to gate one. And I was like, yeah, let's try it. And they were like, they didn't believe me. And I started slowly from there, and thank God we're here now. I mean, had a few accidents, but thank God we're doing good this year. So.
Where are you from?
And I'm from Greeley. I've been all my life in Greeley, Colorado. But yeah, this is my third year here in Arapahoe, so.
And in your first year, you had a lot of success, the leading quarter horse jockey in 2014. So to have such success so early on, were you surprised?
I mean, at the beginning, I was just excited just winning races started thanks to Manuel Orozco with Toshioshi. We started from there and always on favorite and started winning some races. And at the towards the end of the season, I started seeing I had a chance to win leading jockey, and all of a sudden got lucky, and I mean, we held it on by two races with Tony Guyman. Yeah, that was awesome. That's a great feeling.
I remember Toshioshi winning the Cherry Creek Futurity and winning the Lucille Road Derby. What are your memories of that horse?
Oh shoot, I remember when we first started at Manuel Orozco's house. I mean, we started galloping that horse, and he was a little slow learner, but all of a sudden in the trial, I mean, we got third. In his next works, he started doing better, and his mind was getting set on running. And in that final, I remember when we were halfway, I had to switch my whip to the left. When I did that, we're nose to nose, and once I gave him the first left whip, I mean, he started kicking in again, and thank God we barely got it by a nose.
Was that your first stakes win?
That was my first, yeah. And we closed 30-1, I guess. Like, yeah, they didn't have us for nothing. So, but big surprise.
And I think that was probably the first stakes race you ran in too, right?
It was, yeah. It really was. That was my first year in starting track, running track, and yeah, my first big race. And shoot, I couldn't believe it. It was really exciting.
We've been around since 1972. We are the voice of the horse industry, and what we try to do is be aware of what's going on in the legislature, in different developments, different municipalities, so that we can maintain horses as part of our life and lifestyle. We're here to make sure that the powers and the rights of people to own horses remains the same as it has been for many, many years. Horses are extremely important to our heritage. It's important to our economy. We're a $1.6 billion industry in the state of Colorado, and there's over 156,000 people involved with our industry. So I think we have a real important role in the economy, but also in the lifestyle and what horses bring to each one of us. Come on board and get involved with us in our Blue Ribbon Partnership Program and show others your passion about the lifestyle and about owning horses.
This is our chaplain here at the track. He wants to bless the horse and riders before we get started. So, Chaplain?
I appreciate the opportunity to come and be with you guys, and I just wanted to share a quick verse with y'all today, and it's found in the 21st chapter of Proverbs. And in this, it says, "The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord." And you know, you guys have all done everything you could to get your horses ready, and victory in this deal will be making it back on top of your horse. So that's what we're going to pray for today, all right? I'm the pastor of the racetrack, and I'm here to help meet the spiritual needs of those that work within this industry on a daily basis. All right, guys, I want to share today out of the 26th chapter of Isaiah. Because of the nature of this industry, you know, it's horse racing, and there's danger involved in it. And to talk to people about the protective presence of the Lord, being right here at the racetrack, to talk to them about trusting Him in every situation of their life, that'll help them to have a more solid foundation in their walk with the Lord. And as I do that, and in the community, people will come to the pastor and talk to them about their needs and specific things that are going on in their life. With me, I go to them. You know, the people in this industry, they work 7 days a week. They're down in the barns, they're in the jocks room, and I'm there to help represent the Lord to them and whatever needs that they may have, whether they be financial, spiritual, emotional, relational, whatever those would be. That's what I'm here for. Whether we're riding, whether we're working the gates, whether we're doing whatever, we can ponder the things of God each and every day. And in that, we wind up finding that there's peace that surpasses all understanding. That even in the midst of a storm, we can still maintain that peace because we have our minds steadfast on Him. On any given day, I'm sharing the gospel message with 1,000 to 1,300 people. I'll go down into the barn areas, I'll walk the barns and visit with people. Then I'll come up here, I'm getting ready to do Jock's devotions with the jockeys. I usually do that about 30 minutes before the first race. I'll share devotions with them, I'll pray with them. We thank you once again, Lord, for that supernatural hedge of protection that you have placed around everybody working with the horses today. We thank you, Lord, that it's going to be a safe day, that your light and your glory will continually shine right here at Arapahoe Park in such a way that people will indeed recognize your presence in this place. And then after that, just before the first race, I go with the gate crew out to the starting gate, and I'll do a devotion with them and pray with them. The 27th chapter of Psalms, in verse 1, it says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" And in this, I would submit to you that the more that we place our trust and our faith and our hope in Him, the more we recognize that He is the stronghold of our life. He is one that keeps us anchored to Him. And so I want to encourage you each and every day to just be a people that reestablish your trust, reestablish your faith in the Lord, and recognize that in that He maintains His stronghold to you. The rest of the day, I just kind of wander through the grandstands, and I'm there. If somebody, God forbid, gets hurt in a race, has to go to the hospital, I'll jump in the truck and meet them at the hospital and make sure everything's good. I'll pray with them. If there's somebody that I need to visit with to help them to make sure everything's okay. If there's people I need to call, I'll do that. And then on Sundays from 11 to 12, we have a church service. We have a chapel back here in the trailer park area. And so I do that from 11 to 12. And then on Wednesdays from 5:30 to 7, we have a meal and Bible study for anybody that wants to come. So we're like a community church, but we're at a racetrack. And so it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot.
Owning a racehorse is like owning your own sports franchise, and one of the perks of being a racehorse owner is being able to design the silks, the uniforms the jockeys wear during the race. In the jockeys room at Arapahoe Park, the silks are all organized by owner, and you can see the different colors that the jockeys wear during the races. And it's the silks that I use to memorize the names of the horses, because you can't always see the number during the race, but you can definitely see the colorful uniforms that the jockeys are wearing. The idea of silks in horse racing date back to the origin of the sport in ancient and Roman Greece, when there were chariot teams that raced at the Circus Maximus in Rome, red, white, green, and blue silks. And then when modern horse racing started in England, each of the owners had to register their silks with the Jockey Club. And so some of the silks that horses have worn have become just as famous as the horses themselves. Let's take a closer look at the colorful history of horse racing uniforms.
Jockeys' uniforms got their name from the material from which they were made, although silk has, for the most part, now given way to nylon. The design of silks ranges from classic to crazy. For the classic, you can look in the 1780 racing calendar in England on the shelves of the Keeneland Library in Lexington, Kentucky. The colors worn by the riders of the following noblemen and gentlemen. That's the year of the first Derby Stakes, named after Lord Derby won a coin flip to name the race for 3-year-old horses held on his estate at Epsom Downs. Lord Derby's horses sported a green and white stripe. The first Derby winner, Diamond, owned by Sir Charles Bunbury, had pink and white stripes, as seen here with Bunbury's filly Eleanor, who became the first female horse to win the Derby in 1801. The British royal family has its own racing silks, purple with scarlet sleeves, gold trim, and black cap, that date back to Edward VII in the late 1800s. The Prince of Wales won the Derby with Persimmon in 1896 before he succeeded his mother, Queen Victoria, as King of England in 1901. King Edward VII's great-granddaughter, Queen Elizabeth II, is an avid racing fan, owner, and breeder. In 2013, the Queen's Estimate carried the royal silks to become the first horse owned by a reigning English monarch to win the Ascot Gold Cup in the 207-year history of the Royal Ascot races. In the United States, the most famous racing silks are, as one might expect, those of Triple Crown winners. The silks are often as recognizable as the horses themselves. 2 Triple Crowns each for the white with red polka dots of Bel Air Stud, and for the red, blue armbands and blue cap of Calumet Farm. Earlier silks tended to be simpler designs. Later silks incorporated more complex color schemes and personalization. The W shape on Assault brown silks was also the cattle brand for the King Ranch in Texas, where he was bred. They're the famous blue and white checks of Penny Chenery's Meadow Stable for Secretariat. And brighter colors were in vogue for the last 2 Triple Crown winners, a firm's pink, quintessential 1970s fashion, and American Pharoah's turquoise with a Z for owner Ahmed Zayed. The Jockey Club in the United States has 39 base designs that can be customized with various colors, letters, and emblems. There are 19 different templates for sleeves. In Great Britain, 25 base designs and 12 types of sleeves. More than 30,000 unique silks have been registered in America. For owners without customized silks, there are house silks that a horse will be assigned by post position number. Red for 1, yellow for 4, turquoise for 9, and other colors of the rainbow in between. Silks are part of what makes horse racing one of the most colorful sports in the world.
We were privileged to go behind the scenes in the jockeys room to see a side of horse racing that the public doesn't normally get to see. Until your next time out at the races, I'm Jonathan Horowitz. Keep picking winners.